if your browse abandonment flow is basically, hey, still interested, and then 10% off, you're not doing browse abandonment, you're doing it wrong. You're bribing. Most e-com brands send a boring reminder or instantly throw a discount. And that trains people to wait. So let me show you the 2026 Klaviyo setup. So triggers, exclusions, and messages that move people to buy before you discount. And if you don't know me, my name is Emil and I'm the founder of Magicianly, an e-commerce email and SMS marketing agency. Over the last 7 years, we've helped over 120 e-com brands scale revenue and profits with a reliable backend system. All right, let's get into it. So first of all, what is the browse abandonment flow in case you don't know yet? So it's automated email sequence sent to visitors who checked out a product. So they've been on one of your product pages, but they didn't add the product to their cart. So it's like saying, hey, we saw you were interested. Here's a reminder. So what it does, it brings back visitors to the product that they've browsed. It tackles the hesitations by highlighting the benefits or reviews. It suggests complementary items to spark more interest, and it boosts your revenue by converting browsers into buyers. So in short, it's basically your secret weapon for turning window shoppers into paying customers. And if you're not using it, you're missing out on the easy wins. And why this flow is even more important than you think, basically because most brands, they obsess over the cart abandonment flow. But here's the uncomfortable truth. So by the time someone adds a product to their cart, they already have a strong intent. The real leverage is earlier in the customer journey. So when someone views a product page and then leaves, they're not cold. They're just comparing, they're evaluating, they're thinking. And if you don't follow up, they'll buy from one of your competitors, because that's typically what we see. When they're watching your product page, at the same time, they have 3 other tabs with the same product, but then from your competitors. So the browse abandonment flow is how you stay in the decision process. And not with desperation, of course, not with instant discounts, but with controlled persuasion. So for brands that care about margin, LTV, and structural growth, this flow matters more than people often realize. So the strategic role of the browse abandonment flow, again, let's be clear about intent levels. The browse abandonment flow, it's not the same as the cart abandonment flow. Browse abandonment visitors, they've viewed the product page, they did not add it to their cart. They're often comparing alternatives, and they are in evaluation mode. So it's mid-funnel psychology, and that changes everything. You're not recovering a lost sale yet. You're influencing a buying decision. It's a whole different game. So that means that trust matters even more than urgency. Objection handling matters more than giving away a discount, and positioning matters more than a promotion. And most brands get this wrong. They just treat that browse abandonment flow like a weak cart abandonment flow, and it's just not the same. It's a trust building mechanism. So that's important to keep in mind. And before we go to the next point, I just wanted to mention I have a free email marketing course on my website that breaks down all the exact systems in more detail. It's completely free and cuts out all the fluff. So if you want to access it, check out the link in the description below. So how to structure a good, high converting browse abandonment flow in 2026. So of course, first of all, the flow trigger, it's a viewed product. We have a couple of flow filters. So placed order 0 times since starting this flow, checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow, and has not been in the flow in the last 30 days to have like a cooldown period. Then for the structure itself, we typically recommend a 4-part sequence where email 1 is just a simple reminder. Email 2 is the email where we're going to build that trust with your audience. And then email 3 and 4 is where we give away a discount. So we're not going to give away a discount in email 1 yet. We first want to convince them in other ways before we give away a discount. Now let me show you how you can build this flow inside your Klaviyo account. So we're here in one of our demo accounts, and what we're going to do in the left menu, we're going to close. Then in the top right corner, we hit create flow and then start with the essentials. You can already see a browse abandonment flow over here. So we're going to open this. We're going to call this browse abandonment demo flow, and we're gonna use template. Then first we're gonna set up all the flow filters. So allow re-entry after time period, so 30 days, that's all good. Profile filters, so checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, place order 0 times since starting this flow, And then I also like to include added to cart. So this Klaviyo account, this demo account is not linked to a Shopify store. So I don't have the Shopify add to cart trigger. If you use the Shopify store, make sure to use the Shopify add to cart trigger, not the API add to cart. Super important. And then we're going to hit 0 times since starting this flow and hit save. And then we have all the correct filters in place. Then the actual flow. So by default, Klaviyo recommends to wait 2 hours. I like to always A/B test anywhere between 30, 45 minutes up to 2 hours. For demo purposes, let's keep this at 1 hour. Basically, the closer people are towards their approaches, the sooner you want to email them. So with the site abandonment flow, it's anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. Browser abandonment is already a bit shorter. Cart abandonment flow even shorter. Check cart abandonment flow. You can even send it after 15 minutes. So you really want to close that gap. But with the browser abandonment flow, anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours is like a good starting point. Then we have email 1 over here. Gonna add another time delay after 1 day. Then we're gonna clone this and make email 2. This is email 2. Then we're gonna clone this one for another time delay and add email 3. And then another time delay for email 4 as well. There we go. And what you want to have in every email is a dynamic product block. So the way you can make this, we just gonna, in this case, we use like Klaviyo's default template. So if you're gonna go to the template and hit edit inside the template editor. So this is like the default template that we have from Klaviyo. So we already have the dynamic product block and this just works. So what I like to do is take this dynamic product block and just save it as universal content and call this dynamic product block browse abandonment flow. So we just take like Klaviyo's email flow, go to email 1, we save it as universal content, and then you can like edit it along the way to make it match your branding. That's just the easiest way rather than setting it up from scratch. This saves you like a lot of time. So now let's get into the flow itself. So what you might have seen is that we just use a simple structure with 4 emails and there's no split between non-buyers and returning customers. And we do that on purpose because I always recommend with the browse abandonment flow to not split between new and returning buyers in most cases, because this is where the browse abandonment flow is different from a cart abandonment flow where I do recommend to split between returning customers and non-buyers. Because in the cart abandonment flow, the intent is high. They added a product to their cart, so they were close. So splitting between first-time buyers and returning customers makes sense over there. But the browse abandonment flow is different. These people are window shoppers. Their buying intent is low, as I mentioned before. They're comparing, they're evaluating the alternatives. They're probably also looking at your competitors. And because of that, we generally do not recommend splitting between returning customers and non-buyers because even returning customers, they are in comparison mode. That they bought from you before doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you again. They're probably unsure again if they should buy from you again, especially if that first experience was not like top notch. So for the browse abandonment, it's usually beneficial to offer a small incentive in the escalation stage, or guide them towards a subscription option if applicable, or offer like a bundle angle, or present like a compelling reason to act now, even for returning customers. So the goal here is to convert low intent into action and not to protect your loyalty perception. Now, there is one exception. So if your margins are extremely tight, and I know there are like niches, e-com brands out there who do have like super tight margins, then if you absolutely cannot afford an offer to offer an incentive to returning buyers, then you can consider a conditional split. But for most e-com brands who are doing serious volume, in all honesty, I think the incremental revenue from the converting browse abandonment traffic just outweighs the marginal discount cost, especially because these people were not high intent to begin with. So email 1 is just going to be a simple reminder. So timing matters. So we want to send this while they still remember you. So again, anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours after viewing the product on your website. Email itself should not be aggressive, so it's not sales heavy. It just simply says, hey, you are looking at this, are you still interested? And this email alone will probably already recover like a good percentage of high intent browsers who simply got distracted. So with this email, you're only going to capture like the high intent browsers. So what needs to be inside? A dynamic product block that shows the product that they viewed, a Klaviyo product feed that recommends 4 other products based on the product that they viewed, and some social proof. So reviews, user generated content, etc. So an example over here, so still thinking about it, return to store now. So above the default section with a clear headline and call to action, some body copy with the dynamic product block, another call to action, and then you might like these based on like the product that they added to the cart. And that's it. Super easy, super simple. Another example is from Giorgio. So don't let this delicious moment pass. So this is a visual email. We show the product that they've watched with a call to action, and then we show some user-generated content / reviews over here to convince people to return to the store and buy these delicious biscottis. So that's also an angle that you can use. Then email 2, that's where we really want to build trust. So if they didn't convert after email 1, there is probably some hesitation, which is completely normal in the browser abandonment flow. So this email should focus on removing that friction and not by adding pressure. So think like a buyer. If someone is comparing, they're probably wondering like, is this worth the price? Is this legit? What if it doesn't fit or work or last? Is there a better alternative? So your job here is not to sell harder. It's to reduce the uncertainty that this potential buyer has. And this is especially critical for higher AOV brands because they need like a lot more convincing. So what needs to be inside? First of all, your risk reversals, any guarantees, trials, free shipping, free returns, etc. Any risk reversals that you have, you want to show them inside this email. And if you don't have any strong risk reversals, you just want to focus on social proof and of course a dynamic product block to guide them back to the product that they viewed. So an example over here from Smoko. So feeling on the fence with some risk reversals and social proof over here. We show them the product they viewed with some call to action buttons around it. And then we say, hey, your order is 100% risk free with 3 more in-depth reasons why people should buy from this brand. Another example from Apparel Outpost. So still thinking about this one, fair. Again, a high dynamic product block, a CTA, and then we give them a really solid reason to buy because every tea they buy feeds 5 rescue dogs. And let's be honest, if you receive such an email, you would buy immediately, right? If your order feeds 5 rescue dogs. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. So a super simple but high converting email for this brand, even with an added review over here. Then email 3, by the time someone receives email 3, we need to be realistic. So they viewed the product, they ignored the reminder, they didn't convert after the trust building and the risk reversals. So this is not forgetfulness anymore. This is just simple hesitation. They don't know if they should buy from your store. And hesitation usually falls into one of 3 categories. So it's price sensitivity, it's comparison shopping, or I'll buy later procrastination. So email 3 is where we escalate, but intelligently. So the goal is to turn low intent into decision momentum. And you have 2 strong options over here. So option 1 is a time sensitive incentive. So we want to introduce a small incentive with a clear expiration date. So keep it at 48-hour discount, just a simple email, clean design, 1 clear call to action. So we don't want to overcomplicate this because this is not about training your audience to wait for discounts. It's about converting the mid-funnel traffic that likely wouldn't convert otherwise. So if your margins are healthy, this is usually worth it for most e-com brands. The second option is to push for a subscription model if you have it, or a bundle push. So if you have replenishable products, subscriptions, or bundles, this is an ideal moment to push them. So instead of discounting the one-time purchase, you want to position it as subscribe and save 10%, a bundle and save more, a starter kit discount, something like that. So this protects your margins while still giving them a reason to buy from you right now. So what needs to be inside? So a discount with a 48-hour deadline, or a subscription / bundle push when applicable. So you show them a dynamic product block again, and optionally you can show them product recommendations with the Klaviyo product feed. So show 4 other products that might be interesting to them as well. So an example from Sealy. So 10% off just for you, save 10% now. So with some body copy, the code over here, and then the dynamic product block and play now. So super easy, super simple. Another example from Lost Interiors. Enjoy 10% off today. Use code, shop 10% off. Bring it home today with the dynamic product block and a call to action. And you might like these as well, with 3 recommended products in this case, and a reminder of the discount code once again. And then a call to action. And then in the footer bar for this brand, since it's a furniture store, we even highlight that they have a physical store to build that trust once again. So that's how you do email 3. Then we have email 4, so the last chance for the discount. So this is your last escalation, and this is where most brands overdo it. So instead of more banners, more urgency graphics, and more noise, we simplify. So we just want to send a plain text email from the founder. So short, direct, and it has to sound like a human, So because at this stage, like heavy design screams automation, and plain text just feels personal. So we want to remind them of the discount code that you gave them in the previous email. We want to have some urgency, so only 24 hours left, and make it a plain text email from the founder or another team member from your team. Super simple example. Hi name, founder name here. Just a quick note to remind you that your exclusive X% off expires tonight at midnight. CTA, thanks again for checking out brand name, and I hope to see you back soon. Super short, super easy, super personal. That's it. It's as simple as that. So just a strategic reminder, we do not split browse abandonment between new versus returning buyers in most cases, because again, browse abandonment is low intent. So even returning customers are comparison shopping. So the friction here is not loyalty, it's decision making. So unless your margins are extremely tight, running the same escalation logic for everyone usually drives more incremental profit. So just a reminder on that, I wouldn't recommend splitting this flow. But this is like the highest converting browse abandonment structure that you can use for your e-com store in 2026. Now, this flow will convert high intent browsers into buyers. But if you don't connect it to a proper lifecycle driven email system, you'll get some revenue, but not the full lift. The real results come when the whole retention machine works together. So if you want us to build your lifecycle driven email and SMS system, that's what we do for 7 to up to 9-figure e-com brands. So book a free strategy call with myself via the link in the description below. And alright, next, watch this video about the most important email metrics to track, because if you're not tracking the right numbers, you're optimizing based on vibes and vanity metrics. So a super important video to watch, and it will probably give you a whole new perspective on your email setup. I promise you that. So I see you over there.